let me take up this question. Okay, a very simple question asked. Okay, this examination: what is pollution dome? Discuss its formation and impacts. It was actually a very straight question. Most of us know there's something called as urban heat island. Okay, linked to urban heat island is the concept of pollution dome, and this was asked as a 10-mark question. 10-mark question मतलब आपको 1.5 पेज में खत्म करना है. Okay, you are finished. Now this is where I think many of them will make a mistake. They will write more about the urban heat island rather than write about the pollution dome. They are related. Urban heat island के वजह से बनता है pollution dome. They are related. But we do not want you to write on urban heat island. You must write about the pollution dome. So if I am talking about the storyline here, the typical storyline will be, number one will be that urban areas are examples of environmental modifications and the adverse consequences related to them. So urban areas में there are a lot of environmental problems, land problem, water problem, pollution problem, problems related to congestion, बहुत सारे problems हैं. And the best example of urban environment modification is the urban pollution dome. Urban pollution dome. Third, it is a zone of pollutants trapped in urban atmosphere. Okay. The source of the pollutants and their types. Fifth is the mechanism how formed. Sixth is conditions that aggravate it. I repeat, urban areas have many problems. One of the problems is urban heat dome. What is it? I am kind of defining it or explaining it. A zone of pollutant trapped in the urban environment, urban atmosphere. ये वाला मिस करे होंगे बच्चे कि pollution dome का जो pollutants हैं उसका source क्या है. Okay, just defining enough नहीं है ना. Most of them will maybe draw a diagram, but source क्या है? What contributes to the pollutants? Source. And while talking source, you can talk about the types of the pollutants. Can somebody give me what are the types? What are the types of the pollutants? Talk like geography students now. They are emission related. They are dust related. They are aerosols. They are the consequence of photochemical reactions. Okay. They are related to constructions. They are related to land exposed because of reducing urban greens. Emissions बोल रहे हैं. Emissions related to vehicular emissions. Emissions related to production factories and thermal plants. पहले तो प्रॉब्लम है सर, वर्ड्स नहीं है, पॉइंट्स नहीं है. नाउ यू आर स्ट्रगलिंग सर, इतना सारा कैसे लिखेंगे हम? हाउस होल्ड वेस्ट से पोल्यूशन डोम नहीं बनता. हाउस होल्ड वेस्ट का मेन प्रॉब्लम विल बी योर वाटर कंटेमिनेशन. ओके, सो बल्क ऑफ द पोल्यूशन मीथेन से डोम नहीं बनेगा, कुछ और से ऐड करना पड़ेगा उसमें. यस. Now, इसी में जब आप add करोगे the Indian dimension, okay, so Delhi लिखो. In Delhi, we have a pollution dome, and Delhi ka pollution dome is because of three things. One is, of course, the vehicular pollution, definitely. Construction hai, and the stubble burning in parts of Punjab and Haryana. Yes. Okay. So this is a defining part of your answer. Source kya hai or type, and then talk about particulate matter, the type of particulate size that we have. Okay, 2.5 or 1.5, whatever you have. अब ये geography है, the mechanism of how it is formed. Mechanism ka, there are three parts. The three parts is, one is the pollutants are generated. The second part is there is temperature inversion conditions. Okay, and the third part of the formation is, okay, a stable and calm conditions. Okay, how is it formed? Stable and calm conditions. And this, okay, these conditions, okay, jo hain, these conditions, okay, they are related to largely upper air warming and lower air cooling. That's why this phenomena is more common in the winters. They are more common in the winters. Okay, and इसी से related होगा the fog formations, the smog formations. Yes, radiation fogs इसी से related है. Smogs also because of this. So when I start the answer, अगर ये structure मन में नहीं है, what will I write after what? How will the ideas flow? Okay, what will I focus on where? You'll always struggle on answer writing. And once you have done the mechanism and the conditions that generate it, okay, seventh one will be, what is the impact? Now, impact में ज़्यादा words डालना नहीं है, because it will not have too much of geography here. Impacts largely आपका health issues हैं, and impacts could be related to visibility and probably accidents. इसमें ज़्यादा time डालना नहीं है. Okay, just 2-3 lines on this, you are done. You can talk about solutions as a part of the conclusion. The main method of tackling it is that the emissions must be reduced. So I can divide into two parts. What are some natural ways? Natural ways ka only tarika hai, you need to have strong winds. When there are strong winds, it can probably get dispersed, but otherwise you want mitigation strategies. In mitigation, what you need to do is reduce emissions. Okay, you need to be careful about the source of dust because of construction. Arid conditions में we need to have a green cover and foliage. Okay, उसके बाद urban planning you can take off thereafter. So your answer is spread across broadly 6-7 odd broad heads. This is what I mean by storyline. So again, if I summarize, what did I do? I started with what is it? I moved on towards how is it formed? I moved on towards, okay, what are the examples, if any? I moved on towards what are the impacts, and finally the solutions. And I have populated this with some 2-3 points here, 1 or 2 points here, 1 and 2 points there, and so on. This is what I mean by the storyline of an answer. The diagram, the most common diagram for this is, okay, you can show, okay, this as the pollution dome. Okay, it is relatively warmer here, relatively cooler here. Okay, you could draw some diagrams of chimneys and smoke spewing out. Okay, this inversion you can show in terms of this. where the upper layers are warm, okay, lower layers are cooler. This example of inversion, okay, and this traps the pollutants here. You can show a schematic, okay, sources of pollutants. आप इसको schematic दिखा सकते हैं, rather than writing in a paragraph. Okay, write down the sources here, and so on. You could draw India's map and show 4 areas. अब सबसे common India में 4 जगह सबसे common होता है, all the mega cities. We have pollution domes in Mumbai, in Delhi, in Chennai, Kolkata. Kolkata is the worst one. Okay, now Delhi has a worse one. That's about it. Bangalore is not as much. You still don't have a pollution dome in Bangalore. It will change in time eventually. We can add a list of the top 5, 6 polluted cities of the world, which have more likely problems of pollution dome. See, the question asked to me here is, if we draw a diagram, then should we write about it or not? That depends on how important the point is. That depends on आपके पास कितना time है. For example, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points. आपको दिखाया मैंने यहाँ points बताया था आपको. The sources में emission source, dust source, aerosol source, photochemical reactions, the nitrogen oxides will break up. We have sources from construction, land exposed to lack of vegetation. इसमें से I think emission is very, very important. I can combine dust along with construction into one point. And maybe I'll write a few words on the photochemical smokes. The rest, just mention and leave it. So when you draw a diagram, you have no obligation to explain all the points. Be choosy here. Pick up 1 or 2 point explanation and say the other sources of pollutants are as shown above or as shown below, and you are done. और अगर time बिल्कुल भी नहीं है, then write the points and maybe add some points here itself, add some data here itself and leave it. So it's your choice how you want to play. In some cases, the diagrams can replace paragraphs. In some cases, some specific points of the diagrams can be explained. In some cases, you must explain the complete diagram. So that's your understanding of what type of sketch are you drawing. That's your call. Diagram का यही advantage है. In diagrams, you don't have to write down full sentences. In paragraph, आपको पूरा sentence लिखना पड़ेगा. Diagram में, just the keywords will do. Just the keyword. Construction will do. Sentence में, you must write as a proper, syntax and construction के साथ में. ठीक है? So diagrams have a huge advantage in presentation. Look, they save time because you need not elaborate. Plus diagrams में you can show many points which otherwise difficult write on. The advantage है any type of pictorial tools.